Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Stand and Deliver, released in the year 1988. At the start of the movie, a man named Escalante drives to Garfield High School to attend his first day as a teacher. On the way, he enjoys the view of people selling fruits, doing their everyday chores, and a busy neighborhood in the Latino community. After a short ride, Escalante reaches school, but to his bad luck, he finds out that he has been appointed as a mathematics teacher, despite being hired as a computer teacher. Disappointed, he asks the authorities whether there was a mistake, but gets informed that the computers haven't arrived yet. In the meantime, Miss Raquel Ortega greets Escalante and tells him that she is the head of the math department. The duo chats for a bit as they head towards their classes. Soon, Escalante gets inside a class only to find it filled with disobedient students. They behave rudely with him and argue that math is not an important subject for them to learn. While Escalante is struggling to get the students in control, the bell gives him a false ring from outside and everybody gets out of the class. Afterward, another professor informs Escalante that some students had broken the bell to ring randomly. Later, when the class is over, Escalante goes to his car but finds that the window has been broken. He also finds his radio missing, which angers him. Frustrated about his first day at work, he returns home. Back in his house, Escalante comes outside to take out the trash when he sees his neighbor Joe and they start talking. Through their conversation, it's revealed that Escalante used to work at a PC company with a higher salary before he joined the school. Escalante left the company because he wanted to teach and help the Latino students. The next morning, Escalante attends the class wearing an unusual butcher outfit and brings apples with him. He then cuts the apples in different proportions and distributes them to the students as a creative idea to teach them about fractions and proportions. This time, Escalante succeeds in connecting with the students through humor. However, while he's doing so, a disobedient student interrupts the class and tries to annoy Escalante by giving him the middle finger. Despite this, Escalante deals with the boy calmly and instead reveals the multiples of 9 through his fingers. Later, Escalante follows an innovative approach to teach the unruly students by interacting one by one with them. He attracts their focus by connecting math with Latinos' history, giving the example of the number 0. At the same time, he tries to demonstrate the value of education by saying that illiterates pump gas for a living, and tough guys sell fried chicken rather than doing math. The students seem focused when they're personally attended to, and the class goes effectively. After the class, Escalante visits the staff room to attend the teachers' meeting regarding the bad condition of math students and their weak scores. In the meeting, Principal Molina reveals that the authorities are going to cancel their accreditation if the students' performance doesn't improve till the next session. Math head Ortega replies that the teachers are worried because they have failed to raise the kids' scores despite trying everything they can. Just when everyone thinks that there's no hope, Escalante puts forward his words that he can improve the scores with his teaching method. In the next class, Escalante subjects a quick quiz to the students despite their reluctance in taking it. During the quiz, he encourages the pupils by telling them that math is their only way to fight against poverty and racism. Later, as Escalante is walking down the hallway, Angel confesses that he is unable to study because of peer pressure and requests him to provide some books to study in the house. Acknowledging Angel's desire to study, Escalante borrows some books from the library for him. Later, a girl named Lupe doesn't submit her homework and even refuses to take the quiz. As a punishment, Escalante brings her to the front of the class and she feels humiliated when everybody laughs at her. At this moment, Escalante realizes that humiliation from friends is the key to bringing the unruly students back on track. In the next few scenes, the movie depicts the critical household conditions of the students from the Latino community. Angel is looking after his ill grandmother in his house. Lupe babysits her siblings while her parents go to work till late hours. And a bright student, Anna, drops out from school to assist in the family's restaurant. Sometime later, Escalante and his wife Fabiola visit Anna's family restaurant and meet her father while having lunch. Anna introduces Escalante as a math teacher to her father, and the group starts talking. In the meantime, he requests Anna's father to send his daughter to school, but he disagrees, saying girls get pregnant before getting a degree. Hearing this, Escalante speaks in anger that removing Anna from school will waste her life. The scene goes back to the classroom where Escalante has given a tricky algebraic problem to which nobody can give an answer. Just then, Anna shows up at the door and answers the question while getting inside the classroom. Seeing her back, Escalante becomes happy. Later, Escalante decides to take the kids to the PC company he previously worked for, so that he can demonstrate how math works. After reaching the place with the kids, he discovers that his friend's daughter is reading calculus in her high school. As Escalante knows that other high schools are teaching calculus, he also decides to do the same with his students next year. He then proposes his idea to Molina and threatens to resign if his offer is not accepted. He also adds that he wants the students to pass the advanced placement test, which will help them to get into college after high school. However, Department Head Ortega interrupts the conversation by informing that even some teachers may not pass the test. Further, she threatens to leave her position in the department if his words are heard over hers. As the principal doesn't want to put his school on probation, he agrees with Escalante's ideas. The next scene opens up in a new school year where Escalante is distributing contracts to the students and asking them to get them signed by their parents. The contract is a statement for extra classes before and after regular school time. After school, one student, Claudia, convinces her mother to sign the contract by telling the interesting story of how calculus was invented by Newton and sharing her views to become independent. The next day, all students bring the signed contract except for Pancho, who's trying to hold off his studies to work in a garage. However, Escalante persuades Pancho to follow the educational path, giving him a motivational example. The next day, everyone shows up for morning calculus classes, and they start learning at a great pace. Time passes by, and the students are moving forward on their courses. In the next scene, Angel is with his sick grandmother, waiting for their turn in public health care. The line makes him late for school, and as a result, Escalante kicks him out of the class. Finding his teacher not understanding his situation, Angel gets furious. Later in the evening, Escalante's family sits for dinner. At the moment, Fabiola raises her concerns about her husband because he has been working more than he can handle. After teaching extra hours in schools, Escalante is also coaching English to immigrant seniors in extra time. While the family is discussing their issues, Angel comes with his grandmother to meet Escalante and justify the reason for being late. The excessive pressure from his work takes a toll on Escalante's body. He suffers a heart attack while he's teaching English to the seniors. Escalante gets admitted to the hospital, and the doctors tell him to take rest for a month. Back at school, the students behold their misfortune, as their teacher is absent in the most crucial time of their career, as the AP test is just 2 weeks away. The situation gets worse when Principal Molina brings up a music teacher as a substitute for Escalante. At the hospital, even the illness doesn't stop Escalante from helping his students, as he requests the nurse to deliver the questions to the school kids. After some days, without getting a proper rest, Escalante returns back to school and helps the students get ready for the AP test. With his guidance, all the students attend the test, and surprisingly, every one of them passes the exam. At an event the next day, Principal Molina announces that their school stood on top with the highest number of students to pass in Southern California. As a way to respect their teacher Escalante, the students presented him with a plaque. However, the celebration doesn't last long, as the students receive a notice informing them that the Educational Testing Service suspects them of cheating because of their similar mistake answers. After Escalante finds out about this, he gets furious at ETS and states that it's not considering the fact that all students were taught inside the same room by a single teacher, and thus they may have made common mistakes. Shortly after, 2 officers, Dr. Pearson and Dr. Ramirez from ETS, arrive at Garfield School and inspect the vault where the answer sheets are kept. As they don't find any problems with it, they turn their suspicion towards the students. The next morning, Pearson and Ramirez gather all students in a room and ask them to confess that they had cheated. Ramirez even tries to convince the students by telling them that he is of the same ethnicity and he may also have taken the shortcut to pass the exam. Suddenly, Angel gets up and acts as if he's confessing, but soon, he makes everybody laugh by saying that he strangled the mailman and snatched the question paper from him. The officers know that the students won't cooperate, so they leave the room immediately. Sometime later, Escalante approaches Ortega and asks her whether she thinks the students had cheated. In reply, she states that the students may have done it to please him, as they wanted to make him proud at any cost. She indirectly blames Escalante for the critical situation in the school. Disappointed by her rude words, Escalante goes to the parking lot and finds his car is stolen. Frustrated by all the negative circumstances around him, he walks all the way home by himself. After Escalante arrives at his house, Fabiola notices something is wrong, so she immediately comes closer to ask about the cause. In agony, Escalante replies that he shouldn't have invested so much of himself in the kids because they couldn't achieve success. However, Fabiola tries to pacify her husband by informing him that the kids love and respect him very much. While the couple is having the conversation, Angel and his friends bring Escalante's car to his house after modifying and upgrading it. Seeing this, he becomes delighted. In the next scene, Escalante visits the ETS office and quarrels with officers Pearson and Ramirez about the action against his students. He also asks for proof that they had cheated. After an intense conflict, Pearson opens his mouth stating that the students from Garfield School made the exact same mistakes and also finished the test earlier. These reasons aroused suspicion and the results were thus cancelled. Hearing the silly reasons from him, Escalante raises the context of racism and tells them that the situation wouldn't have arisen if his students were not of Latino origin. The situation gets intense, and the officers angrily order Escalante to make the students retake the exams to prove the system wrong. After the conversations, Escalante leaves the place immediately, shutting the door hard. Back in school, after discussing with Escalante, the kids decide to retake the exams. In due course, Lupe calls the authorities and finds the test is going to be held the next day. Escalante suggests the students be strongly prepared as the questions are going to be hard this time. In the evening, Escalante helps the students with calculus problems while cooking dinner at his house. The next morning, all the students gather in the exam hall while Escalante waits in his office restlessly. As soon as the test time starts, the kids start answering the questions. As told by Escalante, the questions are much harder than the previous time. Back at the principal's office, while Escalante waits for the test results, the school secretary informs him that they have finally received the computers. Escalante then rushes to the principal's office as soon as he hears him talking about the results over the phone. There, he finds that all of the students have passed the test with exemplary scores, which makes him delighted. In the final scene, the film states that from 1982 to 1987, the number of students passing the AP Calculus test at Garfield High School went from 18 to 87. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.